Do you want to know the different lotions and potions of rehab? Then today's episode, this really is for you. We've got Callie West, and she's got some really different strategies of rehab from what she uses with horses, but what has also been found to be effective with humans. So if you want to know how to come back from any injuries, specifically today we're talking about traumatic injuries, then this is definitely the one for you. I'm Emily Mitchell, and this is Inspire Sports Physio Podcast. Thank you so much, Callie, for coming on today. And obviously, I've known you for a long time now, but for those that don't know who you are, what you do, start from the beginning. Who are you? Where did it all start? And what do you do now?
Oh, bless you. Thank you for inviting me. It was so much of a pleasure to be here, honestly. Yes, we have known each other for a long time. And yeah, it's just an honour to be doing this for you. So thank you. I'm obviously Callie West. I was born into the trick riding, filming, stunt industry. My mum ran away with a circus when she was 21. And then, and then was working a lot for the Devil's Horsemen. And I was sort of born and I grew up with the Devil's Horsemen. So basically, I started my first show. It's quite embarrassing. Was when I was 4 years old, and I galloped into the arena. Gallop on. Guess what? A hobby horse.
Wow!
Hobby horse, yeah, 100%. My proudest moment. I was 4 years old. But obviously, I must have loved it, being a child. And it was such an interesting upbringing because I was here, there, everywhere. I must have changed school multiple times, just following my mum around, doing her thing, really. I was 7 when I first started Roman riding.
Wow.
So there was 2 little cool ponies, Charlie and Foxy, if anyone knows of them. They were Camilla's ponies, and they were brilliant, and yeah, they just did the job when I was 7. So I know. It was scary. I remember my first show, galloping in on 2 little ponies, Charlie and Foxy, and stood up there loving life. I was just filling in at the time, but then I did a lot more, and I was only 7. I was very pleased. But then when I was 10, I started trick riding. So this wonderful surface pony called Belfast, and he was already trained to lay down and do lots of things. But I got to learn to trick ride on him. I don't know if you can see that, but he's behind you. Don't know if you can see that, but that's a painting of him. It's absolutely brilliant. Yeah, it was so cool. So basically, I got to learn everything with him. Trick rode on him when I was 10. We did a very cool magazine shoot and it was, what was it, that pony magazine that used to be out many moons ago? Oh, I can't remember it now. I just drag it out. But there's a whole article on me and him basically doing that thing. It was really, really cool. And then, so from there, I was trick riding for ourselves, for other teams. Started to work with Tony Smart when I was 13. So I was trick riding for him at 13 years old, which is a massive achievement. This Tony is a very respected individual in the industry. So that was great cool. I had to interview for him as well. I think my second job for him was Ascot Racecourse. Wow. So trick rode that on Bell Concept.
That's a big event as well.
Yeah, as an Indian. Oh. Played me a little Indian. So that was pretty cool. And then, since then, high school, Garacha, Liberty horses. He was fab at Liberty, brilliant. And I taught him to do lots more things. So we had a whole caliber of tricks and things. And basically, he taught me everything. So basically, I owe him more than anything, really. Yeah. We've always had horses, always ridden. I was born into it. I think I could ride before I could walk. Pretty much. I have this lovely little pony called Misty, when she was my first pony. He was my second. And she used to book me off and send me in flying over hedges and all sorts. She was wild off the Welsh mountain. But she was great. She lasted till she was 38 years old.
Wow, amazing.
But she did lots of performances over the years as well, and taught many kids to ride.
Yeah. Oh, bless.
So that was according to the film, TV, trick riding type industry. I've worked for many teams, done lots of weird and wonderful things and very exciting opportunities. And I've done lots of exciting, I suppose, more like memorable things, really. So it's been an interesting sort of upbringing.
Yeah, talking about that, do you think you would have got into it had your mum not been it, or do you think you would have fell into it even if your mum went into it?
It's a really good question. Really good question. I would have liked to have thought that I probably would have probably wanted to, because who doesn't?
Yeah.
You know, who doesn't want to be up there enjoying the horses, being able to work with your own horses and being paid to ride your own horses in a show?
Yeah.
And do all this cool stuff as a kid, and then a teenager, and then a young adult was a massive thing for me. I was so lucky. So I'd like to think that, yes, I would have done it if my mom hadn't have, you know, gone to the circus and then joined Devils and learned everything that she learned, and then obviously taught me everything I know, really. So massive, yeah, I'm very lucky to have been born into it. I know others, it's difficult when you're going into the industry, and you haven't been born into it. It's difficult to get into it, really. It was a lot harder back then than it is now.
Yeah.
So I found that now it's a lot easier. You got back in the day, it was, people could only dream of being in that position. So I was incredibly lucky.
Yeah. I remember when I first started out, and I remember hearing Callie West Junior Veterans. I was like, oh, who's that? And it was just like your name getting floating about. It's like, that's the inspiration, and the whole, like, the story coming from the circus. Like, it's so cool as well. So that's amazing. But you also dabbled as well in a non-horse job, didn't you, as well? Yeah, in the more pro world. So how did that all come about?
So the non-horsey work, basically, before I did the non-horsey work, I did a degree in performing arts. So I went to college, university, stuff like that. I specialised in dance. So everyone does. But it was through that and basically doing all of that, I had to have a normal job because I needed to pay for things. University was expensive. I wanted a life. I was a teenager going into a young adult. You know, I needed money. So I think I started working at like fitness first and did some reception duty there, and used to do all weird things there. It was such a cool, fun job to start with. And then I worked in a more corporate type industry, and I went and worked for Orbital Gas Systems, and I was a service administrator. Very non-equine related.
Yeah.
But I got the job because I've got a degree. Funny enough, I don't know how that worked. But anyway, so I went and I learned all of the corporate side of things, and I progressed from there into another company, and then another company. I ended up being like planning team leader. So like a team of planners working for us. And then I went back to Orbital and became a service key account manager. So I had like major contracts for the oil and gas sector, like Master Burn and stuff like that. And I was responsible for their contracts and for contracts over in America as well, for one of the gas analysis side. So I was their like go-to person for the both companies, all the companies, should you say, and they had to deliver lots of presentations, had to do like a lot of CRMs, and just, yeah, it was heavily key performance measured as well. So to make sure us and the team were delivering as much as possible. So I had a good team of engineers, and I had a team of coordinators and everyone else. So yeah, it was quite an interesting brace together, and so much about managing businesses, having that sort of relationship with a rapport with your clients and with your suppliers, so to speak. So it was a whole thing that delivered, really. Yeah, so it allowed me to have a different angle than just pure equine, you know. Yeah. So the equine and the industry and everything, given in the graft side, got like, I think I got quite a good work ethic.
Yeah, let's see if I can do. From what I've seen.
You've got to say that. You've got to say that.
I've seen it first hand.
So cute. But I think the corporate side gave me that different edge, you know, so that I can use my brain as well. I think it really does help to be able to use your brain and to learn different techniques on the computer. Yeah. So everything's technology based these days, and you know, I bring some of that into what I do now. So it really did help, but it wasn't the job for me long term. I think it was just almost like a bit of a stepping stone, really.
And doing all that sort of stuff, was you still doing the show at the side of it, or You were,
Yes.
So physically, how was you prioritizing your time to do work, all that, the mental element of it, prepping for the presentations, doing all that sort of the side of the job, and then also keeping fit enough for doing all the shows? Like, how did you juggle all of it? Was it you were just going based off technique? Was you preparing mentally, physically for either or job? Like, how did that all come into play?
Got the honest answer.
Winging it.
I have no idea. I have absolutely no idea how. I look back now and I think, how did I do all of that? I mean, we had loads of horses at home as well, and I had to keep them in work, and they were doing things, and we're using them for film and TV, we're using them for shows, and yeah, keeping our saddles fit and keeping everything going at home, the care, the everything, the job.
Yeah.
You know, I don't actually know, but the only thing I can think from a takeaway perspective and how we ended to do it, I think it was just having a structure and the need to get everything done right. There was no other choice for me, really. The job kept the structure. So most of the stuff I did in that time was for the job. So I just made sure that if we were doing any presentations, I'd put some time aside in working hours, or maybe stay a bit extra just to, get that sort of presentations done or some prep work for certain meetings done. So I'd utilise that time. And my mum, bless her, was very good. So with the horses and stuff, she'd look after them in the morning. So I could literally just go to work, which is handy because you don't always have that. So, I've got to be very grateful for that, really. Yeah. And then once I finished work, I would come back home and then straight away, I'd literally have a quick cup of coffee, straight down to the stables, and would be finishing anything that needed to be done physically for the horse's care. Yeah. And then anything that needed to be worked, so could be worked, would be done then. Fitness-wise, preparation-wise, I had a trick barrel at home, still actually in Staffordshire, and funny enough, because my mum's trick barrel, it's donkey's years old. And I don't know who will agree with me on this, but my mum reckons she was the first person to have ever had one of those barrels. Now, that barrel's been there for donkey's years, and the idea of it, there wasn't really anything around many moons ago. You just use the horses. You would train on the horse straight away, and that was it. Whereas now we've got these wonderful barrels on legs, so you just stick a trick sample on and you can go and do all your warming up exercises, all your technique, all your basics, everything, fitness, strength, you name it, without having to get on a horse around. Yeah. So it was a game changer. So we used to do a lot of teaching as well. So we'd have, not loads, as in we wouldn't advertise particularly, we wouldn't have anybody just down. It was very selective, and a lot of people in the industry today that we still work with will tell you the same thing, and they've come to us for lessons and they have done stuff with us that now they are out there, performing in live shows and or maybe on the stunt register and stuff like that. So I think we've helped a lot of people get into the industry just because of their pure sheer determination to do it and want to do it. And so that's why we've helped them. But that barrel was a game changer. So for me, what I would particularly do is get on there 5 minutes a day, probably, limber up. But I was quite naughty. I wouldn't always do it until there was a job. So if there's a job a few weeks before, I'd be on it every day. Yeah. Like swings, you name it, all the exercises, and going through all the caliber of tricks and just really perfecting technique. Because I've for me, and you'll be the same, once you do something, it's muscle memory. Yeah. So you can just, get in, get out, you do your thing, and it's easy on a horse. Yeah. It's just so easy. But you just need your 5 minutes just to keep that core strength going. Yeah. And you just to keep flexible. Yeah. And I think that was something that helped me, but it wasn't brilliant. I should have done more of it. So, but slap on the wrist. I think I took advantage of the fact that I'd done it since I was 10 years old. Yeah. That was the thing that's getting me. So I think it's more muscle and adrenaline. Yeah. Than really being regimented with a structured routine, because I hadn't had so much time, see. That is always a barrier to mine. So absolutely, it's understandable, really. So with that then, were you doing sort of that religiously before you had a job? Was that more for muscle memory of the technique, or was it more, what was your reasoning for going, okay, I need to do something here? Wow. Well, obviously you need to be safe. So safety above everything. So the thing is, if you are going out and performing on a weekend, you know, around your day job, and you've been asked to go and do something, you want to be good when you go and do it. You don't want to be, you know, shabby and sloppy. You want to be able to, you know, make a nice job of what you do. It's reputation, right? It's a big thing just being asked to be doing it, let alone then making a mess of it. Yeah, you always wanting to be like, but the safety first. And the reason for that is because if you're not strong enough to get up out of a drag, you go for a hat pick or anything like that, a death arm, you can't get out of that trick. You're going into the barriers, into the horses. You can't, you know, it's not safe for you, other people, all the horses.
Yeah.
So I think being strong and keeping the strength was imperative. And I think, yes, I didn't do it so much as I needed to. However, I did enough to be able to know that I would be safe out there. And also because I was doing so much physically with the you know, mauling, carrying waters and mucking out and all of that, and riding, it sort of, that did help for the strength as well. So it's more safety is key. And the thing is, we don't want to be pulling our horses over. So we want to be light. Yeah. You've got to be light when you trick ride. It was never good trying to pull them over because it's not on. And horses do quite like it. They like to be trip riding. I don't know if everyone will agree with that. Well, I agree, but the horses we used, they were fit, they were strong, they were ready for their job just as much as we were. And when we did our job on them, it worked then move. Yeah, everything was light, everything was structured, and the technique, keeping that technique was so important.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah. I agree. Max, he used to love trick ride because he knew that A to B, that was his job. And the exact of that, like you say, being light and our weight especially, him being 16.2. So those on horses, 16.2 is a big lump of a horse. He's quite strong. So for us to then hang off, there's our physical weight, but then the technique that makes our physical weight 10 times heavier all rider. So obviously they're strong animals anyway, they didn't tolerate our weights, but then the technique with it really does make a difference to not only our performance, but also the horse as well. So yeah, completely agree with that. With any of your shows or training, have you ever had any injuries that have come to light and you was like, uh-oh?
As touchwood, I've been really lucky. Really lucky. I've been doing shows since I was technically 7. I'm now, I'm going to tell everyone, I'm now 37. So that's a long time. And I've been really lucky. I just have one incident, I would say, maybe 2 actually. One, I was 16, I got kicked in the ribs. But I was doing a drag, but that was how anyone's fault. It was just the action of the horse, and I was in the wrong plates. And I was fine at the time, but it probably lasted for about 3-4 months. I was getting that pain in between my ribs. So I think I'd done all the muscles. I think I was fine in every way, but it almost like when you breathe, you'd re-trigger the pain. Yeah. I was doing, I was at college doing my sort of performing arts at the time. So there were a couple of things I had to sit out on. So it was almost, you'd feel like you were okay and it recovered. And then you do something and it'd be like, oh gosh, it was awful. So that was a bit of a nuisance, but again, no aftermath. That's so good. And then when I was 23, I think it was, doing a really, really simple trick. It was toe drag, dead straightforward, and really easy horse, really easy situation. I got my left foot stuck under the horse's elbow. As he was galloping, my foot got pushed. And you know that pain where you stub your toe or you hit your shin and it's like, oh God, that really hurts. Anyway, carried on, just doing flags, there was weight bearing on it for the tricks, absolutely fine, although it just felt like almost a bit dull. Yeah, I got off the horse and just dropped to the floor. It just wouldn't take my weight.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, okay, this is not good. This is not good. So got that looked at, and I think I've torn all the tendons and ligaments basically, and I had a cast on my foot and I had 4 weeks without a cast, just so the swelling would go down, and then I had 4 weeks in a cast, and then I think it was a further 4 weeks transitioning from cast into boots, being in boots, and tiny Wayfair on it. Oh my gosh, it's like I just don't think there was anything left almost.
Yeah. So 12 weeks of not lovely, yeah.
Yeah, couldn't. But I still did some trick riding shows.
What with the boost you put another cast up?
The first one was a cast. So we had our own team going at the time, Equine Stunt Productions. And we were doing a demonstration, basically. And it was a lovely little demo. And I was like, I can trick ride off the other side. Because I was naughty, because the weekend I'd done it, the weekend afterwards, I begged the people that I'd worked for to let me come back again the week after and still trick ride. And they said, yeah, no, you can't. It's too dangerous. So no, I'm fine. Honestly, I can just do it all on the other side. That's the key of learning tricks on both sides. Because if you ever need to keep working and you've injured yourself, you can do it on both sides. You're quite versatile as a dormant then, because you can still keep going. Anyway. So stupidly now, looking back, why did I do that? I carried on working, and I worked without using, so I rode without a foot in stirrup, and all my tricks was just using that leg to come over to, hit up the other side. So I sported on the right, and the left just waggled around with the air, basically. And that was before I had the boot on. Then I had to have the cast on, and I did a death hang with a cast, but I didn't realise how much that would affect your balance.
Oh, yes.
So I was like hanging upside down, got my big moon boot in the air. And I was like, oh, we're still going. The weight was about to take me over. I was like, oopsie daisy, can't wrap that on, get about it.
Wow.
Never thought that would have that impact, because you know where you are on the saddle when you're upside down. You know where you are in your position to spill something natural when you're there.
Yeah.
And you're like, oopsie, says. So it was almost like someone was just pulling my foot down. Yeah. I didn't want to get that far. So that was interesting. And then had the boot off, the cast off. And again, like 4 weeks after that, still couldn't really just go on crutches and things. Way better. So did a couple of jobs in Scotland. Again, still trip riding and horseboarding, trip riding shows and things. And just worked on the other foot. Wow. And so supportive people around me, because I never let anybody tack up my trick horse, ever. Yeah. It's just a no thing. You don't harm. You're responsible for your own soul, your own horses, come your own life, affect your own life. Use no one else's pilot but your own. So I never, ever. And it's very kind of Smurfers, but no, it's best not to. So on this particular occasion, I had, name any names, but I had a very, very wonderful person, very supportive person come with me, and she tacked up my trick horse. And everyone was really good and looked after me, and and we did it. We made it happen. But I trusted the situation and what we were doing, and stuff. Everything was. I could check everything, but I couldn't physically. I couldn't physically do it. So just hanging on walls. Oh. But it was. I don't know if I'd be as brave now. I think had a lot of youth and. Just the will to perform, to be up for it. Yeah. And actually it was my job. It was my profession. So I still felt like I had a duty. Yeah.
But exactly that. It's performers, athletes, we're all doing it for a reason. Why you're doing it because the enjoyment of the sport, because you love performing. And when you've got so much enthusiasm for something, it's really hard just to go, oh, I'm not going to do it, even with a broken foot or something. I literally went at another podcast with Liz. I did the interview with her at a show, and she fractured her ankle, and she was still trick riding. She decided to do it at the end of the salute. She decided to jump up in the saddle and salute, and she went, "Oh, my ankle, actually." So, but it is really hard for that decision to go to do it, not to do when you love it. But at least you were safe. That's the main thing. And what was you doing to manage the pain and the swelling? Was you doing anything? Was you isolated?
Just literally elevation, rest, ice. I would take some anti-inflammatories, but not a lot, because I'm not big. I don't take pain medication. I'm not very good at it. Don't like it. So behind that, I don't know. So I'm going to be in a lot of pain to take it. So I did take some, but not a lot. And then, that was it really, because you just get on with it, don't you? Yeah, I think you have to, but I wish that I'd known more like then that I know now, or have the right type of people around me. Because I think if you've got the right type of people around you to go, Emily, can you just, I've got this going on, and I know, can you just, is there anything else I could do? I think I would have probably been a little bit more open-minded to actually, I need some help to support the rest of my body, because whilst that was resting, I wasn't doing much of anything else really. And yes, I did shows and stuff, but the other time I couldn't really do a lot.
Yeah.
So I kind of would have liked more help and support from a calibre of that I didn't really have then.
But you've hit that a bit spot on with the nail on the head, really. There's even as simple as a wrist fracture. So many people think, my wrist is fractured, that means I cannot move, I cannot walk, I cannot. And it's like, well, you can still go on a treadmill, move your legs. I mean, so sometimes it's just having that other perspective to go, or even just reassurance, mainly, is just to go, you're okay to still move even though your wrist is fractured. So, And in terms of mental state at that time, was that quite a hard time mentally? Or was you sort of like,
difficult? Oh God, it's awful. I'm not very good at being an injured person or an ill person, because I just don't. And if we do, we get on with it.
Yeah.
So I'm not very good at that. So yes, mentally it was difficult because everybody was still doing things. And although, yes, I was still doing things as best as I could, I wasn't doing at that time what I thought I could be doing more of. And I was probably, I would say, in my prime then. And that was probably a period of my life where I was probably smashing it in the industry more than probably now or when I was a child, really. I think I'd come into my own and I was a bit frustrated that I couldn't do as well. I couldn't perform as well and could probably look as good out there, that sort of thing. And I think it does affect you mentally because you think, well, is this it now? Because you're on that foot and you can't put any weight on it.
Yeah.
I think, is this always going to be like that? How is this going to recover?
Mm-hmm.
How am I going to come back from that? But you do in a weird way, but it doesn't affect you mentally. Yeah, you just think, but you get on with it then. Again, if you'd had somebody, I don't know, someone around you to say, look, this is all fine. You will be fine. It's going to take this long.
Yeah.
These are the things you're going to experience. Then you're like, okay, this is a process I'm going through. Fine. At the time, I had no idea. I'm not very good at sitting still and doing those things.
Yeah.
So.
And in my clinical career, like that is all I hear all the time. So many injuries. I don't know what to expect. I've not had this before. And exactly that. What's the prognosis? How long am I going to be for? What do I need to do to get it quicker? And that's all the things that is really a really important point. And that's why I really think hopefully these podcasts are going to be beneficial to people to give a little bit of an insight of what injuries people have had in the different sports, how they came over it, the comeback. So how long did it take for you after that you were sort of then back to where you was? Didn't think you ever got back to where you were, or did you get back even better?
I think with that, I did come back stronger. 100% I did. Because I had to. There was no choice. So initially it took me probably the good 3 months of really being in a very difficult period. Then after that, I just got stronger and stronger and stronger. So probably maybe another 6 months, then maybe another 6 months after that before I was fully confident with the foot, because it would scare me then, because mentally I'd be like, oh, it's still broken, I'm still affected, but it wasn't. I was okay. And it's all been fully fine. But sometimes, funny enough, if I've not done as much or you sat in the saddle for a long time, it's cold, I feel that ankle.
Yeah.
That's the only other time. Or if I'm, I don't know, poofing and pushing really heavy barrows, and every now and again I'll be like, oh, I can feel that. It's not 100%.
Yeah.
So it does come back and remind me that I have had that injury.
Yeah.
Gosh, it'd be, how ago would that be? I don't know, over 10 years ago.
Yeah.
10, 15 years ago now, that would have been. That it does come back and sort of go, hi, I'm here.
Yeah. And do you ever go, oh, okay, I'm going to do something about it? Or if it does something, you're like, oh, you'll go away again.
Well, sometimes at the time I'm like, oh, I'm not going to, I don't worry about that. It's okay because it's just me. But actually, because of the business I've got now, and the things I try and do for the horses, I am more mindful of myself. So part of the business that we've got today, which we'll move on to and chat about, is I've got like a little TheraPlate, and I put the horses on the TheraPlate, and that is really good for obviously increasing circulation, reducing inflammation. It's good. It sort of puts the body back into its own natural healing process, and the horses love it. And it's really good for people as well. So I use that now as well. Whereas before, I'd probably just be like, me. Whereas I'll go and make myself get up. If I'm feeling a bit sore or things are bothering me, I'll just go and get on that. Like literally one session with that. I'm quite lucky because it's mine. I can just get on and do what I need to do.
Yeah.
It will actually sort us out. But I need more support, really. So that particularly with that and with foot, I would probably have and want more support.
Yeah.
And obviously when we talk about injuries, I've now got a back injury, which and that didn't come through as a result of the industry. I didn't do that before, and I didn't do that riding. Sadly, I got hit by a lorry in September 23, which is a bit of a nuisance because I'm still suffering now with almost whiplash symptoms and back pain and weakness. I've not been able to use my back properly since then. Yeah, it's been so sore. So obviously now it's weak, whereas I've always had such a strong back.
Yeah.
You don't realise how much your back controls everything else. I've never, when people have said, oh, I've got a bad back, and I say, oh, that's really sad. I can sympathise with you, but I never understood. Yeah. But now I understand what back pain does and how it affects so many people. Because again, okay, it was non-work related. It was a lorry hitting me, which was not great. It still had the same effects. It still caused all that damage, and we're a year, I don't know, 2-3 months on since then. And yes, I'm better. Yes, we're back to doing a lot more than we were doing, but no, I'm not fully back to doing what I was doing before that. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. So I'm in a position of still recovery at the moment. And although I utilise the plates and I utilise things I know, it's still that you need further help. You need someone like yourself to go, right, this is where you're at with your back now. This is X, Y, Z. Let's do this. Let's work together. Let's have a plan. And that's what you need as a person going through an injury. Yeah, I really do.
Yeah. And that's the last time what we were speaking about when I was here, when we was saying, obviously I can sympathise with my own back injury, things like that. But unfortunately, back with it being so close to the central nervous system, everything's so hard to sensitive. It literally sometimes is a case of more than just the physical element, but also the mental element of your body-mind connection, rewiring that signal that's been built. It's like a proper good strong motorway that's gone, my back down means it's pain, my back down means it can't function. And for those that sort of underestimate back pains, it's really quite the function of the spine and the muscles. And with patients that have had stroke, for example, we do a lot of what we call equilibrium reaction exercises. So it's as simple as just sitting them upright in a good posture, getting them to facilitate good posture and getting them to reach on out to the side. That requires so much energy for a stroke patient because it's all the core muscles and everything to stabilise just to reach an arm just so there. So the fact that when some people say, oh, my back hurts just doing simple tasks like making a cup of tea, it is literally just lifting a glass of water that requires core stability. So if your central nervous system is on hyperdrive going, oh, that's quite painful, daily tasks, just like drinking water, is going to be reminding you that, oh, my back's not quite right, which is then also mentally fatiguing, the fact that you get reminded every single second of every day that you're in pain or something's not quite right. So, yeah, it is really quite a tricky one, but we'll do it together.
Thanks.
Yeah.
You really need it.
And yeah, so but go back a little bit to the equiplates and things. Where did you find all the equiplates and also the salt therapy as well for the horse?
Oh, yeah. Okay, so interesting one. So I was working in a corporate job at the time. Again, trying to cut a long story quite short. COVID hit. So we're all working at home at the time. And I was just like, this does not feel right. And COVID was a difficult period for everybody at that time, wasn't it? Everybody got mentally isolated. You couldn't speak, you couldn't be with people. People that needed to be with people couldn't be with people. And it was quite a difficult time for everyone, I think. But what it did for me is made me look more within what I was doing and how I was living my life. And I looked inside and I went, this doesn't feel right. I don't feel like I'm giving back. I don't feel like I'm doing enough. I don't feel like I'm fulfilling a purpose in the corporate job I was doing. Okay, yes, I was still doing courses, I was still helping people, still performing, that sort of thing. But I was in a phase of my life where I was like, it's not enough. So I did some research and looked into the things that I could probably do to help along the equine sector, and how could I help the horses? They've done so much for us. You know, we expect them to keep us safe when we're galloping down a runway almost that could be slippy. You didn't know what ground you were getting. You had to trust your horse to negotiate itself through that by hanging upside down. And they had to be so sure-footed, you know, and you were trusting them to get you down that runway, and back up again. And not just once, 5, 6, 7 times, however many was expected. And then everything else you were doing. So it's like, what can we do for them? You know, how can we make their lives easier? So I thought, actually, okay, let's do some research. And I couldn't go back into uni because I'd done my dance performing arts degree. So I couldn't go back into that. So like, what can I do now at my stage in life so it's going to help them? So I did loads of research and I thought, come across the TheraPlate. Now, TheraPlate has got loads of benefits to it. It's quite straightforward and non-invasive. So the TheraPlate it was founded in America about 30 odd years ago, and they designed it for the racehorse. Right, that's where it came from. Yeah, and it was just to encourage the performance and the hoof growth, because obviously the thoroughbreds don't always have the best hoof quality, and that was letting some really good quality horses down, was just the hoof. So they designed it to promote hoof growth, strengthen the hoofs, give the muscles, tendons, ligaments, and the bone structure more support. So it's scientifically proven. There've been 2 studies for the TheraPlate. One was it's a really long muscle. I'm really rubbish. I cannot tell you what that muscle is. It's a really long muscle in the horse. And basically, that muscle structure was strengthened by a certain percentage. I'd have to get the study to be able to tell you exactly. And a particular bone as well, I can't remember which bone that is, terrible. And the bone density had increased. Wow. So it promotes strength in the muscles by contracting them, and also it increases bone density. It's sending the minerals around the body to where it needs to go. Also, it's increasing the oxygen that everything gets pumping. The horses stand on the plates, and the plate's got motors in them, and it uses centrifugal force. So you can put a horse on with an injury or that's got arthritis, because the motion in it is a continual flow. Oscillation plates, back and forward and stop starting, they're not great for injury, not good for arthritis, which you'll know all about anyway. But these particular plates, because they just continually go round and there's no jolting, no stopping, no starting, horses and people and what could go on them. So a horse stands on and it starts to rotate, and you've got different programs, different things that you're dealing with. It goes up into the hoof, up into the legs, and into the rest of the body. It doesn't go the other way with a horse. So if you put something onto them like a rug, for example, that has a similar effect, it'll only go so far down the leg, so it can't travel any further. Right. So with the plates, it can go up and around the rest of the body, but it can't go down. It's around into the hoof. So a lot of things, therapies and stuff, struggle, but can't get into the hoof. But the TheraPlate works hoof up and round. Wow. I'd say. But then it's really good for, you can put anybody on it. Yeah. Dogs, horses, chickens. I've had chickens gravitate to the TheraPlate and literally get on and like waiting for it. Yeah, honestly, it's really good. If they just gravitate to it, it's really honest. I've got photos. Wow. And people as well. So they're moving it more into, you'll probably come across it at some stage, because they're developing it more into the NHS section for, again, patients that need it. So it's going more into the human thing. It's made a massive difference. There's programs on there for fibromyalgia, ME, diabetes, Parkinson's, and the restless leg syndrome. So that, just to name a few of conditions that people can get off, the sore backs, muscle soreness, and all of that stuff as well. Yes, it's been a bit game changer for people as well as like horses.
Amazing. And I do wonder if that's why it was a little bit, not very some complete category, but the now uses sort of radiotherapy for osteoarthritis at a really small doses. It's like a 3 rather than 7 degrees and things like that. So obviously 70, that's for like cancer treatment. So you imagine 3, it's a really small dose, but they found that it's sort of really helping benefiting with all musculoskeletal sports injuries. So but that again, it's like I say, you wouldn't even know it's happening. It's like it's very slow, continual, rather than that you see that oscillation, stop, type energy. So that's really interesting. So would you say that that is something that you would start using a little bit more often, generally throughout the rest of your life now, or about something that you have coffee quite picky with what you would use it for? Like, is it a maintenance thing? Is it just something that you use just for injuries?
No, you use it all the time. You should, because basically it's so good that basically if you, I don't know, if you just feel a bit tired, just really tired, really flat, done a really hard day, and you get on that, it's literally game changer. Wow. Like, ping out so the feels out. You feel so light as a feather. It's lovely. But again, because it works on the smaller muscles in the body and it's contracting very gently, it's doing its own little bit of strengthening. Mm-hmm. So reducing inflammation all the time you're on there, because inflammation again is always present in the body. And again, it's there for a reason, but it doesn't need to stay there.
Yeah.
So it needs to be reduced and get gone, really.
Yeah.
And that's what that sort of does. So in theory, again, time permitting, and not very good at being very organised when we're so busy as people, we should be on that every day. So you can actually roll the ferroflate 3 times a day.
Right.
If you needed to. I treat horses and sometimes you're only going on once a month, but the changes in them are incredible, even just once every 4 weeks. So it depends how much you want to achieve on the ideal and in terms of the frequency, how you have it. But you can have it 3 times a day.
And can you have different frequency settings on it?
Yeah, so if you're treating something, maybe treating a dog with arthritis, it might be quite a lot lower. But then if you're treating a horse with, again, arthritis, actually, funny enough, it's higher in the settings. But if you're treating, I don't know, stifles or backs, usually the settings will be quite high. Laminitis is an interesting one for horses, and that is a very high setting. So you can't just stick a horse on and go, by the way, I'm going to whack you up to the highest frequency of this plate's going to do, and you can feel like flying off somewhere. It's a process. So there's a lot in the plates that you have to just allow the horse to get on, have a nice time, nice low and slow until they're ready, and you can get them up to the top frequency. Again, it's non-invasive, but it sounds louder and it feels stronger. That's the only difference. And once the horses are used to being up to that highest level, if they've not got an issue, they can still have it. So you can put them just on like a maintenance setting, and they can just have a maintenance every month, and it keeps them ticking over. If then the owner goes, the horse slipped in the field and it's done a tendon, or it's done this, done that, you can then treat accordingly, because you've already got horse to where it's needed to go if in the event it needs to go there.
Yeah.
So, and you don't want to scare her. So if you pop one or pop it straight up to the top, you could potentially scare them. So yeah.
Wow. It's incredible, that is. And what about the salt therapy as well? Because I know you do a little bit of salt therapy.
Yeah.
Talk about that. Is that dog keepers as well, or just horses?
Well, salt therapy was salts in the mines many years ago. Like miners, there was a study once that the miners that were mining the normal caves opposed to the salt caves. The ones that were mining normal caves, I think it was, had like more health conditions as opposed to the ones that were mining the salt caves. So they did like a study over different, conditions that people would get, and obviously it's like asthma and things like that they would get from working down there in the dingy non-air flow conditions. But the ones in salt ones, they seem to do fair better. Right, that's interesting. But salt is interesting. So you go to the sea, how do you feel?
Yeah, always a lot better. But
everyone feels good when they've been to the seaside. It's the air. It gets, the sea air gets into your lungs, gets into your body, gets into you. Just feel great, feel refreshed. And it's so basically the system I've got is a Newmarket system, and it was designed for the racehorses again in Newmarket. And it simulates the sea air almost, but it brings it a little bit more intense. And the salt that we use in the machines is medical grade salt from Poland.
Right.
It's probably very cool stuff. Yeah. So it does the salt therapy machine, sits in the stable with a horse and just blows out for 20 minutes, and the horse breathes it in, and then basically it gets into the respiratory system and then gets into the lower section of the lung, and anything that's stuck there, has been stuck there, it just brings that out. So yeah, usually start on the course, and then you can top them up as per what the horse needs. But yes, for humans, the spa places have like sea rooms, don't they? Salt rooms. They have, it's becoming more of a thing, and they're actually doing it now as a therapy for people who have got anxiety, depression, and psoriasis, eczema.
Wow. Amazing.
So it's becoming a bit more known, a bit more appreciated as a very simple remedy.
Yeah.
But its benefits outweigh anything you can ever imagine. And it's saying the horses, like we've treated horses with chronic COPD to the point where these horses are retired, and the only thing for them, the vets have suggested PTS. So who comes in last port of call? No pressure. Horses can't breathe when I get in there. You start the therapy and they cough a lot more, because as soon as the salt goes in, it's moving all of the obstruction, all of the mucus. It's moving it. So your horse is coughing, and it's quite a stressful process for one that's really bad. However, the next day, they're like a different horse. They're the day after a different horse, day after a different horse. We put horses back from PTS, so many horses, and we've also brought horses back into work, like ex-polo ponies and stuff like that, back playing polo. Or actually been through the vax, they'd have all the medication, they'd done X, Y, and Z. There's nothing else that it could do. Find a salt therapy, and then it becomes their sort of last miracle. And we see so many horses as a result of it. But again, it's a maintenance thing. I think you have to keep these things topped up just to keep the immune system healthy. Horses do respond really well. You can stretch the frequency out, but it has to be done as per horse and as per timeline for the individual. But yeah, the results are incredible. And I got into that because I was doing salt therapy. I was running alongside my day job, and I was doing the therapy and that. I come across salt therapy because we've got a horse here. A horse called Murcielago. He's a Menorcan Spanish cross form blood with a very checkered past, bless him. And he developed what they thought was a rapeseed allergy. So in the summer, he was having almost like chronic asthma attacks, and we'd had the vets out costing thousands of pounds with the vets, with the steroids, with the syrup to open the airways, and we did everything we thought we could do at the time. We tried some other natural remedies and put stuff in his feed and did some like crystal clearing to try and clear so far to, but it worked to a degree, a very small percentage. We manage his environment as well, which you need to do. But we were really struggling. I come across salt therapy, and I tried to get a therapist out, but there was no one in my area. They wouldn't come out, even though I had 3. So we can just do 3 of them. Even, couldn't get anyone out. And I was like, light bulb moment. So the loads more research, invested everything that I had in this machine, went down to Newmarket, did all the training, brought it back. First thing I did was treat him and the sweet itch horse that we had at the time. After, I think it was 3 days, massive improvement in both horses.
Wow.
After 6 days, again, another massive improvement. And then I left, so I didn't do them for 3 days, and I put a little top up in. Again, this horse could breathe for the first time in its life with very little intervention anywhere else. And then gradually, everything else got dropped out. Warm meds, everything. That horse is drug-free from a veterinary perspective. Wow. It is literally managed on salt therapy, and you would not even know he's got a problem.
Wow.
He doesn't, at one point, if it's really bad, we'd probably give him some antihistamines as well and run that alongside salt. It was a process year on year on year. He got better. He has none of that other than salt.
Wow.
And but this summer was the first year that he could go 2-3 months without being topped up with salt therapy.
Wow.
Which I do not advise. It's just I have the box and I've got it. So if I saw one little sign of him I can get him straight in a salt course or a salt treatment. I can do that. But yeah, it was interesting to see that he could go for that long period without even needing to be topped up.
Yeah.
And he's just living like a normal horse.
That's amazing.
And I think even working in the summer, he can actually be worked in the summer, whereas before you couldn't even. We just tried struggling to keep him alive.
Wow, that's so rewarding.
And he was the reason I got into it. And then since then, he treated so many others, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of horses with it.
Wow,
It's amazing. Yeah, it's very lucky, really.
Yeah.
It's very rewarding for me when all these they're riding their ponies again. The last one I did was a kid's pony. I was only 11 years old, and it was at that point where there was nothing else I could do. It could barely breathe, and his kid was going, "Please save my pony, please save my pony." I was like, "Oh, I'm sure we can." You like being positive, thinking, "Oh no, let's hope," 'cause it's never let me down. But that's just, every case is different, and there could be other root cause problems that is making the pony do that. So we've got to be mindful that it may not always fix the problem. Anyway, it went back showing and ended up winning. In the end, it takes a lot. It was a process. I think we did 6 days initially. We went back and we went back and we went back. And she was riding it, and then a very slow process. And then, went back to beat it.
That's incredible. And I think it's also a really important message to take away in just sort of every general sort of injury and recovery as well, as it's not always results overnight. It is a process. It does take time, but it is in so many cases consistency. It does show for it in the end. It's like when you plant the seed. If you water it every single day consistently, eventually you get a beautiful flower. But if you miss watering that plant for 1 week, you get dead, dry soil that's nothing. It literally is so important for that sort of the key message. It is consistency and persevering as well. So that's a really amazing story, really it is. Oh, that must be so rewarding for you as well to see that, the change for so many horses and a lot of lives. So amazing.
Yeah, and I think that's why I love what I do now, because I am making a difference. So I do other things as well, and that all helps horses in loads of ways. And the business itself, the newest addition is the bit in bridle fitting. And again, the horse welfare, horse comfort. I want our horses to go nicely. I want them to be comfortable, but we also need the support at times when we need support. Well, we can do that kindly. We can do that in such a way that we're not hurting them. We're not causing pressure points. We're not causing pain. We're not doing that to them. We're actually kindly asking them to steady or to turn or to bend and to flex. But actually that pressure is kind. That pressure is in a way that suits their mouth. So when the bit moves from the rake contact, it's moving in a way that adjusts the nerve mouth. And doesn't, obviously, all horses have different mouth conformations. They have high palates, low palates, thick tongues, thin tongues, rubbery lips, big muzzles, different leads, smiles, different spaces in their interdental space. They might have some wolf teeth, they might have some canines, they might have all sorts of things going on from a dental perspective and pathology with that. But actually, we need to accommodate having a nice bit in there and a nice bridle that doesn't put pressure over the poll. You're not putting pressure on all those important facial nerves. It's saved the horse. You put a hat on your head that's too tight, it's going to be all itching, you're going to get headaches, you get pressure points. You're not going to want to go for that run, are you? You're not going to want to jump that hedge.
No.
Well, why should your horse? So, okay, yes, we need to still have the means of control, if you want to call it that. But in a kind way. So that now I can do that as well. It's just really handy. The amount of horses would change their lives as well. And people as well, people that I can understand, because we don't just bit fit, we have ridden and produced horses that, dressage horses, show jumpers and eventers, produced all those horses, as well as obviously doing all the trick riding stuff and the liberty and all that. You understand them in a way that helps the horse, but then you can help the rider because you've been there. You've ridden those horses, you've trained those horses, you've produced those horses, and you've gone through all of these problems and you've come out with the solutions, and it's been beneficial for everybody. So it's a massive learning curve all the time, and that it's still all this learning down. You don't stop.
Absolutely. Every day at school day.
So it's nice. It's rewarding for me to be able to do that and make a difference. But we have to support ourselves as much as we're supporting horses.
Absolutely. So, yeah. And also we talk about mental, physical, but what about nutritionally? How are you with your diet and things like that? Do you say you've got quite a good diet?
Not at the moment. Not at the moment. I'm not very good at all. Okay, so generally I'm quite a healthy person. I like to eat more like whole foods, organic foods and stuff like that. I don't like things too processed or chemical. So the horses, their diet is so much better than mine. They have clean eating, everything.
Yeah.
So I do try and do stuff like that. I'll have a bit of lemony water. I'll always be greens on the plate. Yeah. Always. And fruits and stuff like that. I would like to be better. I do make homemade soups, and they're always like organic. Don't put anything processed in the soups and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But we will obviously go to the fish and chip shop.
Yeah.
And we will run out for tea last night, or had a big Sunday roast, and and I do drink
indulge.
I do drink coffee. I don't drink too much coffee, but that's not purely my fault.
Doesn't help my situation, coffee.
But these must and think diet wise, I need to be better, 100%. If I could have somebody come out with a little bit of a plan for me. This is what we should be eating. This is what exercises we should be doing. This is where you're at with your body and your strength right now. And this is where you want to get to. Here's a plan.
Yeah.
And that's, I think, what I need, because I sort of stick to that.
Yeah.
Whereas if I don't have that, it's like, a bit of cake, I've had a really hard day poo picking, so I'm allowed that cake.
Yeah.
No, I need to be better, because diet does 100% help in you always feel better when you eat better, mentally, physically.
Yeah. And we see it in the horses, so it's almost like, well, obviously, it's the same principle.
Yeah.
For both mammals.
Exactly. I think for me, since I've had the accident in the lorry, in the van from the lorry, I've not been as good, and it's affected me, obviously, because I've not had the strength in the back, not been able to exercise as much. So although I'm still doing everything, I'm trying to do everything as normal. Yeah. I can't go out for that run. Does that make sense? I can't go and do this, go and do that, and go do the other. It's been quite a difficult process to go, and I'm not allowed to do these things. This has got to heal first, and that's got to heal first. But actually, there probably has been other things I could have done that maybe I haven't done, because I've not known what to do. Does that make sense? Or what you're not pushing? Yeah, push. Yeah, because the more you do, then you're feeling it. You think, I've damaged myself more. And actually, I've still got a job to do. So I'd rather not do all that intensiveness there, because I need to not be in pain, because I've got to go and do that tomorrow, or I have to be okay for that.
Yeah.
You see, so it's a little bit like, what's the fine line? Where's the sport? Who tells you what you can and can't do? Sometimes we all need that.
Yeah. Look, I'm here.
Wow, she feels like just a miracle in my life.
It's a really daunting aspect of how much to push and when to push and when not to push, because a lot of the time it is a case, especially with facts, you do have to push a little bit more than what you think you should push, but not to the point where you then couple. So it is literally red, amber, green. So never entering from red. So anything that's giving you any neurological symptom, pins, needles, numbness, severe pain that's sort of persisting more than 24 hours, then don't keep pushing. But that said, there has to be some discomfort. Like any muscle, working your biceps, you need to be tearing the fibers to build them stronger. So there's going to be some discomfort. But you also do need to have rest days too, where you're not in any case. So flicking between amber and green, men rather regs. But yeah, that's sort of my general go-to for how much to push, how much not to push. But we'll get you there.
Well, that's it. It's a weird thing, because you're never on your own, but you feel on your own when you've done something like this and think, it's not fair, why me? Why did that lorry do that on that day? Yeah. So it affects you like mentally as well as anything else. I haven't obviously trick rode or done anything high intensity since that. So that's over a year. So you can imagine how frustrating that is for me, because I have to rebuild my strength back to that. And I actually thought at one point I'd never be able to do that again, or even have the riding seat that I had, because obviously that's suffered as a result of it. But sat here in front of you when you came to me and I said to you, can I do this again? And you said yes. And I then reverted back to your accident and what you'd been through. You are actually a massive inspiration. So if you sit there and go, yes, you can do this, and because you're living proof, I'm all up for that. Cheers, our waters. Yeah. We're going to put some lemon in it.
So it really is. And I remember the exact same sort of, I really got so emotional over exactly that. I was like, I can't ride, I've lost my seat, I can't even ride anymore, I can't even hack out. Yeah. Just as simple as just sitting on a horse. I literally lost all my confidence. So it is really, doesn't matter whether it's back injury, but wrist injury, ending it all does set you back, but it does affect you mentally. But it is a case of just trying to find someone to go, okay, I've got that support, just having the education and the knowledge to go, okay, what can I do, what can't I do, what exercises are good for your neural health and the muscle health and general maintenance as well. So, but it is, you will come back, just like you thought, you'll come back 10 times stronger, I think.
Hopefully.
You're so driven as well, and that is also the other part of recovery. You can have all the knowledge in the world, but if you don't have the mindset to go with it, then you'll never get back to where you was. You have to have the mindset and the drive to do it, and you definitely do. So you'll come back 10 times stronger.
Thank you. Mindset's a powerful thing.
Yeah. Yeah. It really is.
Yeah, but I appreciate it. And any help, like, we just need people like you in our lives for whatever we're doing. So yeah,
very sure people like you to help both human and horses as well, because it's such amazing things what you're doing, especially with the plates and the salt therapy, and the obviously you're trying to help make happier horses with the bridle and all that type of fitting. So it's amazing. So well done you. So if people want to follow your journey, support, or even want to get like from in this area where we are, I mean, I'm not sure if we're saying areas because I'm not going to be in this country much longer. But but. Yeah, where can people find you and hear about you and talk to you if you need to?
So Facebook's the best bet. So my business, KFW, Equine Therapy and Coaching. Or you can have my personal page, it's just Kelly West. But usually there's a lot of information on the actual Facebook page, and all my contact details are on there. And I'm Derbyshire based, but do go widespread, Staffordshire, Yorkshire, that sort of thing.
And that's in the UK.
That's in the UK. I mean, we have been abroad. We've been to Greece and we've done stuff over in Greece. Wow. We've had some Liberty lessons over in Greece and stuff like that. Amazing. I can go further afield. We can take some of the kit out as well. So it's not too difficult to do, even bit fitting and stuff like that. And very countries are doing. Yeah.
Like the plates as well.
And they'd be a little bit difficult to get out of there, but you could. Yeah, you could. I mean, the salt machine would be really easy. And everything else that I do is really easy. Your fitting and stuff, but the plates, that'd be a bit difficult. But you can take anything out if you want to.
That's amazing.
It depends where the demand is. Yeah. Who wants to help you? Yeah, it's the best place, I think, to find us. Great.
Oh, amazing. And if you could have back to 12, is it? No, you said 24, 25, and you just foot into it. So 23. So what message would you give to your 23-year-old self now, knowing what you know, with everything that you've done, all your injuries you've had? Did you change anything? Is there a sort of a key message? Did you go, if I was that age again, I'd say do that, or do more of that, or eat less of that?
Yeah, that's an interesting one. I think the only thing I tell myself, keep doing the same. Like, because we go, why did I do all that crazy stuff? Why didn't I push myself like that? Well, I pushed myself because obviously I felt like I could, and I had the mindset and the push and the belief that I could get back to where I was or be even stronger. And I did do that. I did that multiple times. There's other things that I've had going on in my life that I've come back from. And I just think, how? But it's probably because of this.
Yeah.
But I think the only thing I'd probably tell myself is get the support, get the help. You know, you can do this, but actually how much better would I have done this with someone like Sal Brown, nutrition, physio, all that sort of thing. It's all so important. And at the time, you just, shove a packet of crisps in your mouth as you're bringing down to do X, Y, and Z. And probably if I'd have been more mindful of my physical health in terms of nutrition and support, I probably would have been a lot better, a lot stronger, a lot fitter, and a lot healthier. But what I need to do is tell myself today is actually to look back at that person that when I was 23 and when I did go through that, when I didn't recover from that, because now being older, funny enough, you don't have the mindset of the strength that you did maybe 10, 15 years ago. Ooh. So I would probably be telling myself right now, here today on this table, look at your 23-year-old self. Mm-hmm. Look what you were and look what you did.
Oh, I think I'm going to steal that now from the rest of the podcast. It's not going to be a change. Yeah. What would you try yourself now? Yeah. I love that.
I was definitely stronger then, but probably I am now. So actually, well, we did it then, so why can't we do it now? Yeah. It doesn't matter what the difference is in the injuries, what we're going through, when we're done. Look what we were then, look at what we are now. Look, how could we bring those two time periods into the same timeline and be awesome?
I love that. You're so inspirational. I love it. Absolutely. Yeah, I'm going to tell myself that now. We're going to make the deal on this table.
It's a deal. Deal's over.
Yeah. Oh, thank you so much, Callie. I always enjoyed speaking to you, so thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
My pleasure.
More coffee?